Hey there, I am Pandapops and I am going to be showing you how to make a bed in VoxEdit. If you haven't already looked at some of the other videos that we have done about how to make chairs and how to make tables, do check them out. For a bed, you can make a bed either in the modeler or the animator. I am only going to make the bed in the animator because it will be showing the modeler side as well. I'm going to click animator, I'm going to create a new asset. Make sure it's in a folder that you recognize. The animator doesn't need to be used just to make animations. It can be a place to rig up multiple models and place together to make a more complex asset. One of the main reasons for making assets in the animator and making separate models is so that we don't have a large collision box. The reason you want good collisions for your assets is so when you place an asset in the game maker and a player tries to jump or sit on top of it, they are not sitting in the middle of the air. We're going to start with adding some nodes to our skeleton panel. The world node cannot be moved. I have created a child node off of the world and named it control node, and then all other nodes will come off of that control node. The bed being a child node of the control node, and then back of the bed and the pillow being the children nodes of the bed node. The reason we do it this way is because if you make a fairly large asset and you need to reposition it, you can just click on the control node and move the entire asset without having to move each individual model. The world acts as the center of rotation for your asset, and the majority of the time you will want your asset positioned perfectly in the middle of that world. Go over to our library and we want to do new VXM. This will look fairly familiar to you if you have used the modeler. It opens up the modeler for you to start creating a model. Building the bed first, uploading it to your workspace, having a check-in game maker just to make sure that the dimensions are what you are happy with. I am going to go for a more sort of in between a single and double bed size. The width of a avatar is 32 voxels, so we want it to be wider than the avatars themselves. I'm going to go for 60 voxels in width. And then the length, we do want it to be longer than the avatars. Avatars are roughly 2 meters tall in the sandbox size, which is 64 voxels. Headboard of the bed itself, I'm going to have go up to 55. This is where we're going to start. I'm going to have my mode on create mode and on the face tool for now. Front of the back of the bed, so we've got the headboard right there, and we're going to want a good height for the bed. So to test this, what you can do is switch to paint mode. I like to use the line tool, choose a different color, click at the bottom, and when you click at the bottom and hold it, right at the bottom you'll see some numbers come up, and you can see on the y-axis it's going up to 28. 28 is probably pretty good height for a bed, maybe a little bit less. You're probably going to want to do a bed at a similar height to what you do the chairs at, which chairs can be anywhere from sort of like 18 to 28. So I am probably going to lower this. There we go, 24. That's probably a good height there. Okay, so we've got a standard bed here. You can obviously add some additional details. I like to put the mirror tool on. We will want a mattress placed on our bed. So get paint mode, and then the box tool, click, drag, and make your mattress. Then you'll want to add a pillow. And we're going to use a similar color for the bed sheets. There. Then I'm going to take the mirror tool off, and to just give it like a little bit more life, just gonna make it look like maybe bed sheets a little untucked. And what I like to do is I like to just slightly darker shade. Obviously you can add as much detail as you want. This is just an example for this. Trim volumes. We also want to make sure that this bed is centered. So we're going to click the pivot tool. We're going to right click and set to floor. This then centers the pivot point to the floor in the middle of the asset. We're going to click and drag our bed model over to the bed node. We're going to duplicate the bed 2 times. So we're going to click on the bed and do Control D, which is the shortcut for duplicate. We're going to call this backboard. And we're going to click the bed again. Once again, Control D, and we're going to call this pillow. As you can see here, this orange box is showing you the collision box. So in Game Maker, if an avatar tried to sit onto the bed, the collision box would actually be right on top. The trim button doesn't trim around the entire asset. It doesn't wrap around the model. It goes from the highest point to the furthest point. So we are going to click and drag the backboard over to the correct node and the pillow also over to the correct node. From here, we're going to click to edit. So we are going to delete everything other than the backboard of this bed. I like to be on the box tool. Some people like all of these other tools. I like the box one. We are going to delete absolutely everything other than the backboard. We're going to click trim volume. We are not going to move the pivot point. If we move the pivot point, then we will have to move this model into the correct position. Because there are going to be no animations done, we do not need to worry about the pivot point for the other models attached. Next, we're going to edit the pillow. Once again, we're going to delete absolutely everything other than the pillow. Again, trim volumes until you've just got the pillow there. Next thing we need to do is go back to our original bed, and now we need to delete only the pillow and just the back. That's the pillow deleted. This section, we also don't need to delete this other little bit that we've got going on here. Right there. Perfect. Trim volumes. Now, we do have the foot of the bed as well, causing this to be slightly more raised. We can also make another duplicate and place that on there, which we will do. So this is now the collision for the bed. As you can see, it would still be raised a little bit. I'm going to duplicate, and I'm going to call this foot. Click and drag. On this one, we're going to delete everything other than the foot. Bed. Now we have a bed with the perfect amount of collisions. We've got the headboard, we've got the pillow separate, we've got the foot of the bed separate, and we've got the main part of the bed as well. This means when it is placed in Game Maker, your avatar will be able to sit on your bed. Sit, lay down, have a nap, relax on this bed, making for a more realistic experience.